This is Bree at Initial Attraction. Have you ever wondered how we get the name or monogram on many of the items that we carry? I'm going to show you today. So I'm going to show you on one of our My Blankie blankets, which is one of the most popular items that we carry here at Initial Attraction. We have carried it from day one. We brought it in based on the recommendation of a customer, and it has been our best no-brainer go-to gift by far. A lot of times we hear from customers, oh, they get so many baby blankets. Yes, they do, and I can tell you that they will probably use them all, but if you want one baby blanket to stand out from the rest, this is the one. You can put it in the washing machine, in the dryer, the soft minky, the satin. The babies love it, and it ends up becoming their go-to blanket that they can't do without. So, like I said, I'm going to show you how to personalize a baby blanket like this, because we're just going to kind of take it up a notch by putting a name or a monogram on a fabulous product already.
So the first step of the embroidery process is creating the design. When you come in and pick out what you want, we take your order and then we come back here to our workspace and we use our various embroidery programs and softwares and we hand design something specifically for you. So this particular baby blanket is for a baby named Hadley. Before you get all excited that this might be for a Hadley that you know, the chances are it's not. I picked this particular project because we take gift giving very seriously and I didn't want to ruin anyone's surprise. So this particular order is for a customer of ours that's based just outside of San Francisco, and it's shipping to a baby that is on the East Coast. So the next step of the process is to use the dimensions of the design we just created to figure out where we want it to appear on the blanket. So we have certain go-to formulas that we use depending on the size of the design so that it looks appropriate on the blanket. We don't want a name that's really long to look just crammed on there, or maybe a name that has fewer letters to look like it's just tiny on there. So we used one of our formulas here, and what I've done, you can see that I've marked with pins where I want the bottom of my design to appear, and this pin right here is the center of my design. So when I go to stitch it, that's where the center of my design should start stitching. And this little faint line right there is a chalk line that I've put on there to help me understand whether my design is straight once I've gotten it hooped. Because the next step is to get the blanket on this hoop with this backing and make sure that it's not only straight, but it's also centered. So here we go. So with my first attempt at hooping, you can see that my design is neither centered, because this is not in the middle, it should be about over here, nor straight. You can see how angled that line is, which means that this will not stitch well. So we're going to try one more time. So we're getting closer. It's a little more centered. You can see that the pin is just a little bit closer to the middle. We're getting straighter, although this side is a little higher than this side. And the other problem that we need to take into account is you can see that my backing has not gone hooped well. So we're going to try it one more time. And here we go. We're pretty centered. We're pretty straight here. The back looks good. So at this point in time, we are all ready to stitch. This is our embroidery machine. It's actually pretty small when it comes to embroidery machines, but I've got my blanket on here, as you can see, and I've told the machine what size hoop I'm using, where I want the design to stitch, how fast I want the design to stitch, what needle I'm using, what color thread I'm using. As you can see, I actually have a little bit of that shiny stuff is water-soluble topping, so it keeps the blanket from poking through when we're stitching the design. So at this point in time, I should be all ready to go to just start the button and let the machine do its job. I finished stitching the blanket at this point, so the next job is to just do some cleanup. I need to go through and remove all the running stitches between the letters, get rid of this water-soluble topping, take the backing off, clean up the back, and of course take it off the hoop. And here's the final product, a beautiful blanket that was stitched with love and care for a sweet baby named Hadley, who we're sure is going to use and love this blanket very, very much.